Hey girls, this is video 2, identifying your self-talk. Now, if you don't already have your dedicated notebook and pen ready, please pause the video now and go get them because this is where the real work begins. So, I've mentioned before that the average woman spends 17 years of her life dieting with little to no lasting results. This is due to our society's obsession with the generic fad diets that promise quick results but at the cost of your confidence and an average of $40,000 spent by each woman over her lifespan. You see, in our quest to shed our unwanted body fat, we've all been guilty of obsessing about food as though it's the root of the problem, punishing ourselves with excessive exercise, and putting ourselves down as though that's ever been effective. So today, we're going to do things the opposite. We're not going to look at external sources for the root of our struggles. We're not going to talk about counting calories, nor are we going to start recommending that you start hitting a gym or training for a marathon. But what you are going to do is you're going to start to really get to know yourself. Why? Because the answer to your body isn't out there somewhere in some magic diet that's yet to be discovered by you. The answer to your body is in you, in your mind and in your body. And the answer to your body is also different and unique to that of everyone else. So that's who you're essentially going to get to know and practically study over the next 3 months, is you. So today you're going to start with a focus on 1, understanding the relationship that you currently have with yourself, and 2, how your self-talk impacts your ability to achieve goals. So what is self-talk exactly? Well, self-talk is the way that you relate to yourself through talking to yourself either silently in your head or out loud. Your self-talk in good times and when things are falling apart really identifies both the relationship that you have with yourself and how you are most likely to respond to challenging situations or moments of doubt, especially when it comes to diets. So why does any of this matter? Well, for 2 rather good reasons. Now, the first reason comes from a psychological perspective. From a psychological perspective, being talked down to has detrimental effects, especially and most importantly, if the berating talk or the negative talk is coming from ourselves or from someone that we looked up to or loved in our vulnerable younger years. So a good way to think about the effect that your self-talk has on you is by asking yourself if you would say the things you say to yourself in front of other people, or if you'd say the things that you say to yourself to someone else. Now, one of my clients, Mary, confessed to me that she's rather cruel to herself in the way that she talks, saying things like, "Look at you, you're so fat and ugly, Mary. Nobody's going to love you looking like this." And when she's running late or behind on a project or late for a meeting, she hears her inner voice say things like, "You're such a failure, Mary. Always late, always useless." Now, when I asked her if she would say those very same things to a little girl, to someone else's child, she was mortified at the mere thought. So if the rule is, if you wouldn't feel good telling another little girl you're a fat failure for eating some ice cream, then you don't say it to yourself. If you consider abuse coming from another adult to a child, then know that it's abuse coming from you to yourself. See, the way you talk to yourself determines the way that you will respond or react. If someone called you a fat failure, you may feel so disempowered and ashamed that you run and hide yourself from the world, never to come out and never to try again. Or perhaps you may get so angry that you punish yourself by not eating. Neither of which would be healthy responses to such a negative comment. If, however, you learn to relate to yourself in a more loving way, then the result may be different. If instead of calling yourself a fat failure, you said, "Oh, Mary, you must have really been having a tough emotional day today to have turned to ice cream and forgotten about all your goals. What kind of comfort is it that you needed, Mary? And how did this day unfold and unravel? And what can we learn from today to make sure that future days like this are either circumvented or dealt with better?" If you respond to yourself like that, you have a much better chance of responding to the situation positively rather than self-sabotaging. Now, there's another reason that our self talk matters so much, and that's from a scientific perspective. From a scientific perspective, the way that we talk to ourselves matters because of the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction is one of the 12 laws of the universe. If you haven't heard of these, don't panic. They include things like the law of gravity, which you definitely know, and the law of cause and effect, which you probably know. Now, these are laws that are in effect whether we know about them or not. Whether you know about the law of gravity or not, if you jump off a building, you're going to hit the ground. Doesn't matter if you don't know about it. Now, when it comes to the law of attraction, I assure you it's way better to know about it and understand it than not. Because the law of attraction affects our lives on a daily basis almost as significantly as the law of attraction. So, as the law of gravity. So, the law of attraction states that you attract into your life that which you focus on most of the time. Now, if that sounds a bit vague, it is. Say, it's been proven through science that our thoughts create emotions, and our emotions have a vibrational energy that can actually be measured. Happy, positive emotions have high vibrational frequencies, whereas negative feelings like depression have a low vibrational energy. So when we say things like, man, the tension was so thick in the room, I cut it with a knife, there's a lot of truth to that because when you walk into a room where two people have been arguing, you can actually feel the dense vibrational energy of the argument that they were having in there, that low vibrational energy. So if the law of attraction says that the universe gives you back more of what you are vibrating, more of what you are feeling, it means that positive thoughts that lead to positive feelings will draw in more events that will lead to positive feelings. And negative thoughts that lead to negative feelings will do the opposite. They'll attract more negative events that lead to more of those negative feelings. So, because our thoughts create how we feel, and our feelings or our emotions have a vibrational energy that goes out into the world and attracts back similar vibrational energy, it's very important to be aware of what energy we're putting out there. So, what it means is if you, for example, wake up in a bad mood, grumpy, tired, and frustrated, you will physically be emitting a low vibrational energy, which means that you will be attracting situations that continue to put you in a bad mood or in a low vibrational energy. So, for example, you wake up in a bad mood, you end up stubbing your toe on the way to the bathroom. You lose your temper, you feel sorry for yourself, and then you spill coffee on your clean shirt on your way out of the house. And then you hit every red light on the way to work, and you end up showing late, embarrassed, frustrated, and sorry for yourself. So understanding law of attraction and using it to your benefit means creating the self-awareness so that you can get yourself to bed at a reasonable hour if you know that not getting enough sleep makes you grumpy. It means if you stub your toe, you don't feel sorry for yourself and yell at everyone. Instead, you breathe through the shock pain and understand that stubbing your toe is a sign that your general thought pattern is inherently negative and you need to change it to be more positive. And then you slow down, you take a minute to choose a purposely positive thought to repeat, like, it's going to be a great day today. And then you can laugh at the irony of it all. So the law of attraction essentially says that we have the power to attract positive or negative into our lives. So if our thoughts are inherently belittling or discouraging to ourselves, if, for example, you routinely call yourself a loser or feel shame when you look in the mirror because your inner voice is telling you that you're disgusting and no one's ever going to love you, then you will be attracting more situations that cause you to feel that way, disgusting and unloved. Not to mention, you'll be very mean to yourself. See, constantly putting yourself down, I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight, will lead to continued feelings of inadequacy. Those feelings will lead to more self-comforting food binges done out of self-pity. And we all know that this creates a horrible cycle of eating because you feel bad and then feeling worse because you ate badly. So in essence, negative self-talk only leads to more scenarios of self-loathing and helplessness. You'll attract people and friends who pressure you to eat rather than ones who support your journey by suggesting healthier, fun activities to do beyond going out and eating. Say, you quite literally need to emit positive vibrational energy of self-love and faith in the journey ahead in order for you to progress towards your dreams. So now we're going to cover the law of attraction, or later we're going to cover the law of attraction and how it relates to using affirmations and goal achievements in Module 2. But for now, our first call of action is to just take a few more minutes to become aware of how you relate to yourself in moments of vulnerability and moments of fear. So, by being interested enough in yourself to listen to how you speak to yourself, you can begin to figure out what changes can be made in your life and in your self-talk to pave a road away from Struggleville and into the island of self-loving change. So here's your next task to do on a worksheet or in your notebook. I want you to set aside about 20 to 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to reflect on things that you say to yourself in moments of vulnerability, fear, and even in moments of acknowledgement from others. People give you compliments. So write down things that you silently say to yourself when you don't like what you see in the mirror, when you feel shame and inadequacy, when you hit a goal or a deadline on time, or when you fail to hit a deadline on time, when you try something new and it's intimidating, when you're faced with a daunting task like dieting, when you eat more than you know you should have. All of these different moments, I want you to write down the things that you say to yourself. Write down exactly the words that you use and try to list them all with enough space underneath each example of things that you say to yourself. So for each statement that you write, I want you to then go ahead and imagine the effect you think saying that to another child would have on them. Preferably, imagine saying them to a young girl, even to yourself at the age of 6 to 9. Write down how you think it would have left you feeling having heard that at the age of 6 to 9. And then go through the list again and underline the things that create good feelings and circle the things that create negative feelings. This is how we're going to start, by just identifying the relationship you have with yourself, whether it's positive or whether it's detrimental and standing in your way. Rest assured, in the next chapter, we're going to be talking about where these beliefs came from, what a belief is, and how to change them. So go ahead, spend 20 to 30 minutes, write down the things that you say to yourself in response to each of the statements listed on the worksheet and the effect that you think it would have on a young child had you said those things to them between the age of 6 and 9. All right, girls, I hope you enjoyed this video. Get your homework done, and I can't wait to sit down and chat with you in our online video chat on Zoom. All right, have a beautiful day. Enjoy the assignments. Bye.